What is up, Everyday Athlete Podcast Network listeners? How are you? Welcome to the next Fireside Chat. This is going to be the third episode in the Riding the Edge series, where I'm talking to everyday athletes about burnout, tips to avoid it, signs to be aware of, because look, the world is heavy at times. Running tends to be our outlet. Swimming and cycling tend to be our outlets. And then we can overdo it. We can easily find our way into running more miles than we should be running, skipping recovery, skipping nutritional parts of our training, and putting ourselves sort of behind the eight ball. And I wanted to get out in front of this and start talking about this more as a person who has experienced burnout, not just in sport, but also in life, even with the Run, Try, Bike and the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse and the company that we've built here. There are days, trust me, where I'm thinking just exit all out and let go of it and move on in life and figure out something else out. Today, I'm going to be joined by one of our leadership team members, Joe Hardin. You know him from Beyond the Finish Line podcast on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. Plus, he is the race director of Odd Duck Running, and he is my business partner with RTB Awards. So right away, you know he's got a lot of stuff happening, and burnout is probably lurking over his shoulder on a regular basis. Before I bring Joe on, let's do the whole thing that we're supposed to do, because if we don't, you might forget about it. And the reality is I can't have you forget about it. We need you to subscribe, rate, review, and comment on the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network on your favorite podcast platform, as well as YouTube. And look, yes, it helps us out with the algorithm, but the reality is I love talking to you people. I love commenting back. I love engaging in conversation. It's one of the reasons why we're on the Run Club Tour today. So drop a comment. And before you decide to give us less than 5 stars, email me, jason@runtrymag.com, so that I can do everything that I can to address your issues and earn that 5th star. Anyway, no more of that stuff. We've got the legalese out of the way, thanks to the attorneys that we don't have because we can't afford them. And let's bring Joe on and let's have what I hope to be both a serious but also a fun conversation, because the dude is just awesome. My guy, how are you?
What's up? Man, that music, the intro music, it almost like put me into like what's in the earbuds. I was like, wait, this isn't that show. So
well, actually, that's a great segue into the conversation of burnout, because I know you and I, on Mondays, when that show gets ready to get queued up, we look forward to that show. And I'm guessing, dude, it's got to be because of what a shit show of a day Monday has been.
yeah, oh my God. Yeah, it's like it's funny, like, just to be transparent, it's like sometimes they're like, oh, we have a show tonight, and this is like about 30 seconds in, I'm like, oh, all right. Like, yeah, this is what I needed today.
I don't disagree with you, dude. There are days where I can be sitting on my couch and I'm like, I got to get on Restream, got to queue it all up, and then we start bullshitting in the back room, and it brings everything together. And let this be the first tip for anybody out there who is feeling burnt out. Like, seriously, call your people, man. Like, get in front of them, call them. Dude, did I tell you when we were in Pittsburgh on Saturday? I think it was Saturday, the day before. No, it was Friday before the race, which was on Sunday. I called Santino and I was like, dude, I know you're not here and you're missing this, but I just wanted to check on you to make sure you're all good. And we talked for like maybe 10 minutes, man. And it was just awesome to get in touch with him and talk to him and talk us both off the ledge, right? Like, I was bummed that he wasn't there. And I know you talk to a lot of people. Like, when you have those conversations, like, what does it feel like? Does it feel like the world just feels a little less stressful?
Oh yeah, and it's funny. It's funny how different my conversations can be with different people, or the same person but on a different thing. It's like, like me, you and Derek have this, like, it's obviously just like nonsense. And then we have a group chat with Santino. It's just like, I feel bad because it's like 90% me just like, I have an idea and I just like vomit onto that text message, but I have to like get this thing out, and it's like nobody
Yes.
else that's like in my perimeter and on day-to-day basis understands. And then it's like, then I have like a Facebook message with that's a lot of us talking about dogs, and then it's like Instagram is like, I'm just sending each other the most unhinged shit. It's like, So yeah, I do. I have like many streams of that, and then I have people that are like odd duck in that orbit that send me stuff, or like just I love how random it all is. If you like zoom out, it's so funny like how, but they do. It's like every time, or Chris Cedar sends me music stuff, or it's just yeah, I have like a lot of that, and it's you don't realize how supported you are until you like sit back and think about like 8 people might reach out to me on a given day, if not more. And it's just like it's almost like you're kind of it's like a new benchmark for being rich, I guess, is realizing that you have like all those people that you can, even if it's just we're bullshitting about nothing. But
Yeah,
and
dude,
favorite.
that's the perfect thing, right? Because yes, you, Derek, and I have that thread on Instagram that's rolling. You, Santino, and I have the text message thing that's rolling. I get emails from people. I get text messages from people. I get DMs from all different parts of the world with all different topics. And here's the thing, dude. And here's why I encourage people to take a step back. There are days where I'm going through it, right? Like we're trying to build this company. We're trying to get the attention of an audience and grow it because we want people to feel like they're at home here in this endurance sports world, because a lot of times they can feel like they're left out in the cold. But we're running a business, and the more people we can touch, the more opportunities we have for brand partnerships. And so there are days where I'm going through it and I'm like, man, that reel or that carousel or that post just isn't doing well. And I think about the business. And then all of a sudden there's a text message from you, and there's a text message from Santino. And then some person who's in the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse that I haven't seen or heard from in some time reaches out and they're like, hey, by the way, and I start to realize like, how fucking lucky am I? I have all of this stuff here and it reduces the stress so much. I was going to put a number on it, but I can't because I don't know what that number is, but it's a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't really quantify something that's it's definitely like a priceless commodity. Is having like people.
Yeah, and so when you're going through it, dude, let me ask you this. I'm going to put you on the spot because I think that one of the reasons why people gravitate towards us and towards RTV and ODR. And for those of you who aren't in the know, ODR is hot duck running and RTV is run, try, bike. We throw these acronyms around like as if everybody knows.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why people connect with us is because we are open and vulnerable and honest, right? When you're going through it, it's a day where it just feels like nothing is going right. Do you tend to find yourself going into I'm going to steal your name, the tortoise shell? Or do you find yourself stepping out of the door and being like, I need to go talk to somebody?
Oh, this isn't good, but I internalize it until I can't anymore. So I do.
By the way, I'm going to interrupt you because you say this isn't good, but this is who you are, and who you are is good. So it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it's just like sometimes. So I do like I go into my shell until it has to come out, but sometimes it doesn't always come out like when it probably is like when it should happen. It's like sometimes it's like forced out by circumstance. But I'm certainly getting way better at that because it's like I mean how like you've known me long enough where you know how I operate. It's like if I have an idea, I just have to like I have to
Yeah.
like throw it. I have to get it out on into the universe like as quickly as possible. I don't
Of the
know. I don't know
many
what it is.
things that I love about you, that's one of the best of it, dude, though, because I'm the same way. We're entrepreneurs. We have ideas. Let's execute. Let's fail fast.
Yeah, I mean it. I feel like it's like one of my strong suits. It gets me in trouble too, but it's like my ability to just like put it out there and then figure it out later. It's just how I operate. It doesn't always work out well, and I have to do there's like a lot of painful learning as you go. But that's how I operate, and I don't want to like fight it. So, but yeah, so I'll like internalize it for a little bit and just like, oh, I have to get this out, and it's just like. But yeah, so it's a little bit of both. Like I'm getting better. Like I realize I need to if something's bothering me, I'm trying to do better about saying it instead of like letting it build up to where it's like it ends up being resentment and that person doesn't even know that I have that problem.
Yes.
Like I'm so
Yes.
bad at that. And And I recognize that now. So that's something I'm, still working on. It's like, I'll be like pissed. I'm like, they don't even know that I have like a problem with this. Like, how dumb. Like, so just like be an adult, say words. So obviously trying to work on getting better at that.
I think that that's the reality for all of us, man. Like, I know there's going to be somebody out there who's going to raise their hand and say, no, if I have an issue, I tell people straight up. And I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. Right. Like, no, you don't tell everybody everything. Like, come on. Like, stop putting that out there that you're just flooding the market with everything. It kind of goes back to the whole thing on social where people are like, oh, I show you everything I do. And it's like 0% chance you show everything that you do.
Yeah.
0%. Like, stop, don't bullshit the bullshitters, man. Like, cut it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I would be if I showed everybody everything. Oh my goodness, he'd be like, what? I mean, I would like to think I'm as transparent as I can be, but I mean, you do have to hold some things like close.
Yes.
Like, yeah,
But
there
here's
are
the thing.
that's sacred.
Yes, there are things that are sacred, but here's what I hope and what I want the audience to know, right? As because burnout is going to show up in a myriad of ways. You're going to start to say, I have to do this instead of I get to do this, or I really don't want to do this. And the thing that you love, you start to despise and hate. Here's my hope for people is post whatever you want to post on social media. That's fine. But reach out to the people in your world when you are in need, right? And I'm making this statement to you, Joe, and it's so for all the world to hear. Like, don't worry about whether or not I'm busy, right? If you want to call, call, and if I can't answer the phone, I won't, right? But I think we've gotten to this place in the world where we're like, I don't want to bother this person, but we're boys. You're my guy. Like, I want to be there for you. I'm going to be there for you. And if I can't answer the phone in the moment, I won't. But I don't want you to feel like, oh, this thing with ODR is happening and I can't get through it. And you start to hate it and like looking around, like, who do I call? Who do I talk to? And you get to say to yourself, oh, I resent because he won't be there for me. And the reality is,
Oh,
if you just pick up the phone and call, we're going to be there.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I definitely. It's just like when you're doing something that's so unknown to it's like so hard to navigate. It's like,
Yeah.
it's weird. It's like, I mean, I won't lie. Like, you've heard me complain about like awards and like shit not
Yep.
lining up. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
still so young in the races, and like I've had frustrations already. But I was thinking about this today because, I'm in a big ass hurry. I'm just now packing for my backyard tonight. And I was like, damn, I didn't even have time. Whatever. And I was like, I was thinking back to like me a few years ago when I just had like this desktop laser and I was just doing little like crafts and stuff for trade shows. And I had dreamed about being at the point where I am now. And I'm like, like this is where I wanted to be. Like, you know, am I some like, big, you know, nationwide, awards maker? No, but I mean, um, I couldn't have dreamed having, even as big as it is now. I mean, it's not like huge, but it's for, for as little as I've been doing it. I think that's just something I was trying to take like inventory of, like even earlier today, just thinking about all the stuff I had to get ready. But
I think that's the key, right? I think one of the keys to avoiding burnout is perspective. Because if you're capable of gaining perspective, so I talked to Laura Thornton today for she's at Laura on a mission on Instagram and Threads, and I had a conversation with her for about 40 minutes, and she asked me my story, and I think for the first time in a long time, I pressed the rewind button all the way back, and shared my entire story with her. And as I was going through that, dude, I was like, shit, man. Like, imagine telling that kid who's 12 years old that you're going to own a company, that you're going to be partners with some dude from Indiana in an awards business, helping with events in the running space. Like, there's no way on this green earth you would have thought that. Even at 33, you wouldn't have thought that. And that's damn cool. So, and I say that in this manner, and the reason I'm saying that is there are moments where I'm like, I don't know what I can do to help Joe with ODR. I don't know what I can do to help with RTB awards. And if I stop to think about the fact that I'm even having that conversation, like how can I help with 2 companies that I'm a part of?
Yeah.
That's everything.
Yeah. I mean, like, and I would think it's like so hard to, I think it's the reason why it's so hard to like ask for, it's like, I feel like, I just figuring out what I need, like kind of as I'm doing it. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but I'm like, it's just like so crazy, but I was just, but yeah, going all the way back, it's just, I guess I couldn't, if, if I was able to talk myself like 10 years ago, I wouldn't have believed me,
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, like, I mean, burnout is, I ride that fence like all spring. And I mean, I get like a little bit of downtime after, the first week of December. And then I just like melt for like a
Yeah.
month and a half and just like stay in the woods. But I've been trying to like really think about the fact that I do like, I do get to do this. Um, you know, I'm just, I, it's just weird. It's like all these stars aligned. I just happen to be in the right place at the right time. And that's how this all started. And it's crazy to think about that this all kind of came from the fact that, like, when I was getting sober, I just needed something to do with my hands. So I
Yeah.
bought woodworking equipment. Like, I spent $100 on woodworking equipment 7 years ago. It's like, what? Like, yeah, I just need something to do. I needed something to do. I've shared a million times. I've been on I've been 7 years sober. And I occupied so much of my time, like drinking or being hungover. I just needed something to do with my
Yeah.
energy. So it's just crazy to think about. It's just like it started with a trip to Menards to a hardware store to buy a little bit of woodworking tools to, like, now I don't know where I'm going to put more stuff in my shop. And so I'm thinking, I may have to eventually get a bigger building or, maybe someday, or get better at organizing my crazy ass shop. But so it's
Well,
just crazy to think about it that way. But
that's our goal, is to get you into a bigger shop. I have grown more bold in the last 3 weeks to a month in calling out men specifically with their insecurities and dumping on other men, women, just doing things that are just uncalled for. I think it's just insecurities. When you think about burnout from 2 perspectives: one, business, and 2, running, do you think you're trying to compensate for some insecurities that you may have? Do you think that there is a part of you that is like, I can't go back to being the guy that was who I was before I started getting sober 7 years ago? And so I need to do more and I need to do more, so that you avoid that person from 7 years ago. And then all of a sudden, you're going down a darker path that could lead you to burnout and all of a sudden blow it all up. Like, you ever think about that?
oh yeah, I told you kind of, and Santino, but I was kind of, I kind of had a little bit of a spiral last spring. And here's why. I thought about this a lot too. Actually, our last roundhouse table, I felt like this made me. I don't know if I said it, but that made me think about it. Um, like previously, when I was in active addiction, no one could rely on me. I was not reliable. Like, no one could
Hmm.
put trust in me. I would probably not show up to the thing because I was drinking, or hungover and sleeping one off, or I couldn't make it. No one could rely on me, and I felt like, I do feel like sometimes I do extra stuff, I do too much stuff, and I do go really hard in the paint because, in a way, it's like, I don't know if it's I'm not. It used to be I was trying to prove to other people that I'm a different person now, like, and I've kind of learned through like steps, and the fact that I will never be able to change some people's minds on who I am now. They always see me as that
Yeah,
version.
yeah.
You just have to accept it. It's like nothing I can do. It's unfortunate that some of those people were close to me at one point, but I just had to eventually just write it off. Like, well, you'll never see me as who I am now. I can't change your mind, whatever. So I felt like I used to go hard in the paint with all this stuff, like the running and the like. and all the stuff that I've done. I mean, I go hard. I mean, that's just, I don't know how else to say it. I'm wide open pretty much all the time with all the things that I do. And it used to be to show other people, like I just said, but now I think now I want to show myself, like, and I feel like I am guilty of like kind of feeling like I'm trying to make up for lost time too.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause I'll be honest with you. I'll be 44 years old and I don't feel like I have that, like all that time that I was drinking. I think, like maturity wise, I didn't really change. Like I was locked in like my 20s. And here I am at 38 years old with like the maturity of like a 20 something year old because like drinking had like a way, it has like a way of like sealing you, I think, in that time. You
Yeah, I
don't
think,
grow
yeah.
all as a person. And then
Mhm.
all of a sudden I'm having to do a lot of fucking growing in my
Let me
40s,
correct you. Your body grows old as a person, but your mind stays stagnant because you
right?
are abusing the shit out of your body when you're drinking like that.
Yeah. And so I had to do like a lot of growing up and I've had to learn a lot of things that I think uh, people have to learn when they're in their 20s and 30s. And here I am playing catch up. And then I felt like I wasn't as far as a lot of people my age. And so, once I started like all of these different things I'm doing, running, business, whatever I'm doing, I feel like I'm like 1.5 speed right now trying to catch up. And the truth is that I caught myself, up until recently, like spinning out and so busy with it all. I didn't realize that it doesn't matter where I'm at. Like I have to kind of meet myself where I am. Like you
Yeah,
can't.
yeah.
And yeah, that's just something I've learned. Like I've been really thinking about that. Like there's just like a lot of things that I couldn't do because I was drinking. Like work on myself. Like I was numbing so many things and now I'm just learning to like do regular like nervous system regulation in my mid 40s. So I feel like in a way to like overcompensate for all that like lost time, um, that I like. That's why I do go so hard with everything that I do, and that's just a part of who I am too. Like I will always be an addict, and I'm always going to function like an addict, and um, I think a lot about why I act the way that I do, but I've learned to, um, and it gets me in situations every once in a while, but I've learned to like harness that. It's like I know that when I find something that I like, I have the ability to take it full on, like, and that's just how I always operate. But like at least now, I feel like I've gotten to the point where I can learn to like use that for some good. Sometimes sometimes I burn myself out in the process, but yeah, I mean that's just absolutely yeah, just wide
So
open.
let me, over the last 7 years, then, because as you're talking, I'm asking myself this question too. Over the last 7 years of the sobriety journey, where you've gone from I need to prove to you that I'm reliable to I need to prove to myself that I'm reliable, have you gotten better at recognizing the signs of when you are doing too much and burnout is coming along? Or is that something that's still in its infant stages that you're just starting to grasp of? Because here's the thing, for people who don't know, RTB Awards is essentially a new entity. ODR, Odd Duck Running, is absolutely a new entity. It's a little about a year old at this point. And so, like, these are brand new introductions of work and busyness that you're bringing into your life. And I'm wondering if those 7 years, so let's say six leading up to the start of ODR, have you been able to see that, okay, in year seven, I'm recognizing signs and I need to tap the brakes a little bit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's funny. I've learned to like harness. I've learned to like harness when I know I can push. If this makes any sense at all, it's like I know I'm learning to like ride these waves because and it's like it's almost like a mania. It's like all right, I'm feeling like I'm like really really motivated today. So I've like learned to like ride these like waves of like all right, let's get like, and I'm able to like get all this shit done. And I'm like then I can like I'm able at least like not plan like a little bit of a downtime. Like,
Yeah.
hey, we get this, and this done. And before I was so bad at organizing that time. that I would just have to stay like steady. And like this year, I think is the first time with, because I mean I've been woodworking even before the awards. I mean I was busy with art and like trade shows and all this stuff. So, essentially I've been woodworking as like a side gig for like 7 years, and it was just constant, like 100%, like pedal to the metal. And
Yeah.
I've been able to, like, I can kind of feel when like I'm gonna have like a good surge, like all right, like all this shit is lining up together, let's knock this out. And then I can kind of feel like, all right, we need to pull back a little bit, and then I'll be able to like knock some stuff out, and then just kind of like have that little meltdown period. That's something I wasn't able to do before. That's been kind of
Are
nice.
your, is your meltdown period shorter today than it was prior then?
Yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
before, I would just like work myself to like a putty and then not be able to do anything for 2 days. Now it's like I'll be able to, like, I can comfortably take like a Sunday and just kind of exist, and then I know that I got to hit it hard, these next few days. So it's been kind of nice being able to kind of like at least organize when those times come.
One of the things that, for those of you who are following us at Run Try Bike and the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network, know that Lori and I were just in Europe for basically, we were on the road for 3 weeks, but we were in Europe for about 10, 12 days, somewhere in that vicinity. And one of the things I was concerned about was the time zone difference, right? We're going to be 8 to 9 hours ahead of the West Coast, 5 to 6 hours ahead of the East Coast. But let me tell you, dude, because I was frazzled. I was on the edge. I was like, oh my goodness, how are we going to do all of this stuff? And I was introducing burnout on the company into the conversation because I was so concerned about all this stuff. But I will say this, there were just every day we were over there, right? If I woke up at 6 or 7 a.m., you're talking basically 10 p.m. on the West Coast, right? 1 a.m. on the East Coast. So nobody's awake. Nobody's doing it, right? So I go all the way until noon. Then I start posting. And then by 6 p.m. In Switzerland or France and London, all of a sudden, like my day is over. And so it was one of the greatest ways to reset and avoid burnout because I couldn't control it. Like, what was I going to do? Stay up till 4 a.m. to type out a post? And so I asked that because that was accidental, but it has taught me that, look, dude, the world is still going to spin. People are going to comment on a post, whether you put it up there at 7 a.m. in London or 7 a.m. in New York. It is what it is. You can't control that stuff. Have you ever had like a happy accident, shall we say? Go back to Bob Ross. Have you ever had a happy accident when it has kind of helped you reset your mindset as you were leading and running towards burnout?
Oh God, I mean, hell, that one we had, that thing I had this week with that, with the, I mean, I don't want to say names, but I had a whole race series, that
Yeah.
fortunately had some, clerical errors that were beyond me, and I made a bunch of the wrong stuff, and um, that problem was addressed, and it turned out that that was a happy accident because it means I don't have to make as much stuff, and um, maybe that doesn't mean we won't get to invoice as much for that thing, but it's just like, hey, cool, that sucks, pay closer attention next time.
Yeah.
But but yeah, it was a happy accident. So here I am. I was kind of on the edge anyways. I'm like, oh my God, I have so much to do. Like, so that to me, that was a happy accident. And going back on what you said, I've missed messages or emails from clients, whatever, and maybe it took me 24 hours to respond, and I realized that that's so hard to do, is to not respond right away to quotes or inquiries. But it's just like, it's okay if you wait 12 hours or so
Yeah.
sometimes to respond to somebody, and if they don't give you business because of that, then that just means that it doesn't work out, and maybe you don't have the same boundaries as that person. So, and that's been kind of a happy accident. It may have just been like it got lost in like the shuffle or whatever, and it was like, and I responded to it and I saw it, and maybe it didn't work out, or it did. But that's just been my latest thing, because there's always like a sense of urgency to like respond
Yeah.
right away when somebody wants something, because you're afraid you're going to lose a sale. And that's something I learned to let go of. We can't get them all, and rarely do. I
Right.
mean, how much stuff do we quote out and how much do we get? It's, every single person that runs a business based on that quote knows you don't get a lot of them. At least, at least in the trail running space and the running space, there's so much out there, and that's fine. Like, and that's okay too. If you don't get a quote, it just wasn't meant to be. So I feel like that's been kind of happy accidents too. Maybe there was some big commission. Maybe we missed. Maybe our numbers didn't work.
Maybe.
Yeah. Um, but maybe it just wasn't meant to be, and maybe that was a happy accident. Then you get to take on something else that maybe works out better.
I said this when I was training sales reps in my prior life. Like, if you close 20% of your business, you're a champion. Like, you're a champion. And so I always reflect on that, because I think to myself, because to your point, dude, I work myself up into a lather. If I get an email from a client, in my mind, I don't say to myself, "Oh, this is going to be a good email. They love what we're doing. Hey, we want to give you more money." In my mind, it's always like, "You stink. This is terrible. We're canceling you." Right? Like, I work myself up into that negative lather, which can also lead to burnout, because your heart rate goes up, your anxiety and your stress level, and instead of responding to the email in a calm tone, you're now giving away the store, instead of being like, no, this is the value that we have and this is what we're doing. And if this is unacceptable to you, then that's okay for us to walk away too. There are so many ways for us to get into the pitfalls of burnout. And I think it's just important that people hear these conversations, one, so that they know that they're not alone. Because if you're an entrepreneur, you're dealing with this. If you're an employee at a company, you're dealing with this. If you're an athlete, you're dealing with this. Because I was told around 2011, 2012 by my then coach, Maria Simone, Jason, stress is stress. Your body does not know if it's caused by a 5-mile run, or if it's caused by something happening at home or something happening at your office. And I've never forgotten that statement. Um, and I think for entrepreneurs like you and I, dude, that probably bears more weight than it does for those who aren't running their own business, where everything is imperative in terms of sales, but you've got to control that, because otherwise you're going to lose your mind when it comes to this stuff. How do you make it work? Because look, you're not only running RTB and ODR, you're training, you're heading out this weekend for a backyard ultra, plus you got Vol State coming up this year. You're also an employee for a corporation. You're also a spouse. You're also a dad. You're also a pet owner. Like, how do you, I don't know that balance is the right word, but how do you commingle all of those hats so that one part of your life doesn't burn out another part of your life? Is that something you're cognizant of, capable of doing?
I'm very cognizant of it, and sometimes like, unfortunately, I'm so aware of some things that I do that slide that sometimes there is like I do have like some guilt, because like I could be better at being present, and that's something I'm working. Like, my kids are older, and like my son graduates in a couple weeks, and I'm like, man, I feel like I lost a lot of time because I work so much. But I feel like what I have to do now, and they're like their own adults now. So when I do get to like actually have a conversation with them, I try to make it like pretty meaningful. Like, I guess I mean, I hate to say that I don't get to have like small talk with my kids much, but they're teenagers and you don't really get to. So it's like when you get those pockets where they're like this, I try to like make the most out of the moment. And maybe it's intense to them, but it's just like, I have a lot of things to say to you. So it's like, I feel like sometimes it's like 2 weeks worth of stuff that I mean to like say to my kids. But and yeah, it's just like, I'm not good at, I feel like I juggle a lot of things, but I'm not good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I can really only whole ass one thing, and then I can half ass a bunch of other things. So it's like, when I'm finally at a certain process, I have to give 100% of my time to that thing. Um, and it starts out as like I'm doing 12 things, but it's like I get those 12 things to a point where I have to like focus only here, only here, only here. I know that sounds wild to most people, but that's just sometimes how I have to do that. But so it's like, when I do make time and have chunks to spend time with somebody like a friend, which I don't really spend much time with friends, um, or dogs or my kids. It's like it's like I have to be very intentional and very like intense in that moment with them. It's like
Yeah.
I have to get the most out of it. Hopefully that makes sense to anybody listening.
Dude, it
Um,
makes total sense. I think if we're not intentional, we're constantly scrambling. But I think there's a double-edged sword there, because if we're so intent on following a particular schedule or whatever to-do task list we have, and something comes forward in the middle of that, it could freak you out and be like, "Oh shit, where am I going to put this now?" Right? Like, I think this is the hard part, is the scales of balancing it all. That I need to be intentional, but I can't be so intentional and rigid that if something comes in unexpectedly, it breaks the system. Right? You know what I mean?
oh, like, dude, I am that like that. Like when that happens to me, it's a huge wrench in my gears. It's like I don't know how I became so like inflexible to
Right?
unexpected. And then when I do, it's like it stops me in my tracks, and then nothing gets done. And I'll update you when I can figure that part out. Because it's funny how much hard shit that I do, and like the smallest little inconvenience will just like I just like, oh, that's it, like, and it's just like I just like throw it all up in the air. It's just like I don't know. It's like
It's frustrating, man. I'm with you, dude. It is frustrating. Like, um, I finally put together the merchandise page for the Everyday Athlete on the website. For like 3 weeks, I've been ignoring it. Our buddy Scott has been emailing me. He's like, "Hey,
sorry.
are you gonna get this up?" And I just said, "I'm getting on it. I'll get to it." Right? And all I'm doing is adding the stress, and to the point where I'm like, "Fuck it. I don't want to put this up there anymore. Just exit
Uh,
out. I don't care if anything sells." Right? Just don't give a shit. It's not that important. And then it took me like an hour or two to get it all set up, done. We're ready. We've already made sales on it. It's like,
I, I told you I just set mine up over the weekend. And Scott, like, sorry, Scott, if you listen to this, I'm just like I don't want to do it. It's like, and it's funny how easy it was. I was just like, oh my god, like it's like my wife wanted the tank top. I was like, wait, hold on a second. Use this
yep.
affiliate. I'm like, shit, that was easy as hell. Like, because there's like a link to watch a video. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch this video. Like, it's funny.
Here's the
It's funny. I'll run across the county sometime like randomly on a Saturday, but I
yeah.
didn't want to take the time to set up a link to pay me my money from the merchandise. It's ridiculous.
It's so absurd, dude. And here's the thing, like, that I'm doing this as well. And you could have just emailed me or called me and be like, "Hey, how do you set this up?" It would have taken 5 seconds.
Instead, I waited till like 6 o'clock on a Sunday afternoon. I was like, "Don't buy that tank top yet," like because my wife wanted the tank top. Yeah,
It's
crazy.
wild, dude. We've been talking a lot about burnout, riding the edge when it comes to business, but have you been in that spot yet when it comes to running? Have you been to that spot where you're like, "Man, fuck this. I'm not running. I'm done for whatever period of time."
So if you would have asked me that a year ago, I wanted to quit. I wanted to quit running. Um, Fully honest,
Why?
I was like, maybe I'm not made for this. I think I was training for somebody else. I like, I was like, I like DNF this 200 mile. DNF's not what made me want to quit. Whatever. It's not even that serious. Um,
Yeah.
I was training. I wasn't training for me. If that makes sense at all. And
Yes.
here's been my huge revelation. This is the most consistent I've ever been in. I don't know how many years I've been running. I'm 38. I'll be four. I don't know, 5 years or so. And it's because I was just like, who am I doing this for? Like, am I doing it? Am
You
I
had
doing
it.
this for Instagram likes? Am I doing this for Strava?
So
Like,
you had this internal conversation with yourself?
oh, 100%.
Okay.
And I was like, and this is going to lead down to the original conversation we had back in August about like, before I hit register on Vol State. I was like, who am I doing this for? Am I doing this for me? Like, because it was like who cares if you DNF'd this or DNF that? Because I had two DNFs, 100-mile DNFs. And I was like, was my heart even here for this? I did Mohican because of Derek. Like I love that man. But I was like deep down inside, am I doing this for me? And that's when I totally reframed what my relationship to running is. I was worried about pace and all this bullshit, and I was lying to myself and other people, saying that oh, I run for the views and the picks, and was that true? No, I'll be completely honest with you. And right after that, the Mohican DNF, I was like, yeah, like what? Who am I training for? Am I training for me? Am I training for my at the time my run coach? Is it? Am I doing this stuff because I want like? Do I have to have a buckle like at the time? And totally, I was like, like I totally reframed running. Like I started treating it as an adventure, and run commuting changed. Like I ran commuting before, but I don't think I was run commuting for the right reasons. And it's just been like it's been huge. Like I don't even care anymore. I'm gonna stop and take the pictures. If I see the dogs, I'm gonna pet the dogs if they'll let me. I'm gonna like look at the butterflies and take like yeah. I'm just so I totally had to like reframe how I'm training and quit worrying about how fast you're going or if you're gonna get a buckle anytime soon. Like none of that even matters. And I've just been doing this completely new style of running. And I mean, I have not had any burnout. It's because instead of I've instead of like running for like metrics, I'm running is just like kind of what I do to like it's kind of like I've programmed my like running like my life running around my life, right? Is that how I'm going? It's just like it's just what I do to get places, and
Yeah.
it's been like so refreshing. Um, just kind of taking off with a pack and like a debit card, and that's just been like that's been really awesome. And like, who cares about how fast you're gonna get there, or you know, how what your pace is or anything like that. Just enjoy it.
That's the thing, dude. It's kind of wild, right? Because we all get into these sports for our own reasons, right? I want to get healthier. My doctor told me that if I don't, I might suffer a heart attack. I got to get uh, quit booze or drugs. Like we all have whatever the reason is that we get it, and that reason is our reason. And so we get into this, and we start running, and then we find running threads or running Instagram, and then we start seeing people's posts, and we start seeing events, and we start seeing all this shit, and we start to do it for other people. And I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say 100% of us who are in the running space on social media have had those moments where we start running for something other than ourselves. And you just talked about it for yourself. And for myself, it happened too. I DNF'd at the Canyons 100 a couple of years ago. I knew going into that event, I had no fucking right to be there in this idea that I'm going to finish this race. And don't get me wrong, I got off to a good start. I will say that sometimes having a natural talent to run and endure is not good because I was like, oh, I got this. I can deal with this, right? I've been here before. And that's not always helpful. I got about the 50K mark and I was just like, my body was kind of done because there was no nutrition around that I could stomach and stuff like that. And I could have easily snuck my way through the course. But I DNF'd and I realized like I was doing this for a pat on the back, kudos on Strava. I DNF'd at Javelina because I had a health scare for myself where my kidneys were achy. And, you know, we just started talking about this run club tour and it was going to be the first time I would run a marathon in 14 years. And when I tell you that running for myself to be a part of the community changed that entire marathon, right? I ran with Santino for 15 or 16 miles and I was on my own for the last 10, so the last 15K ish. But I wasn't out there alone because I had you, I had Derek, I had the RTB community, I had the EAC members. Like all of a sudden, it was all of these people were cheering me on to help me finish, as opposed to me thinking I need to run so that they can be proud. Like they were already proud of me. And I say that to you as well, because you're going to go to this Backyard Ultra this weekend. This podcast episode will come out after the Backyard Ultra, but then you're going to go to Vol State. And there's going to be a moment, especially during Vol State, because it's going to be so long, where your mind is going to go all over the place. I'm telling you right now, dude, I love you. I am proud of you for putting on your shoes and getting to that start line. however long it takes you to get across that finish line is however long it takes you to get across. We are all proud of you for doing it. And I think when we hear that from our friends, from our family, from our community, it changes the why I'm running it from I need to impress you so that you can give me a heart on Instagram to you've already given me the heart and it's not on Instagram, which helps me move forward. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's funny just changing like why you're doing something when you're doing it for yourself and like having that support. It's amazing what how far what that, like what that'll do for you, and it'll drive you to. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's one of the coolest things that I have seen probably with the company and just for me personally in the last 2 years is we're building this community for each other so that people know that they're not alone in these sports, that they've got people that are supporting them. One of the greatest kicks I get, dude, is on Fridays when I post the reel or the story wishing the EAC members good luck at their races coming up. Like, I just feel like I'm on their team. I feel like I'm at the race rooting for them. I just think it's so fucking cool to know that we've built this thing where people
Yeah,
are like, yeah, Joe's in my corner, Santino's in my corner, Dr. Lori's in my corner. I got this.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it is nice to have like, which I need to. I guess I didn't put this weekend's race in the Slack
Thanks, dude.
channel. It's my bad.
I'm writing it down right now, so I will update it. Don't worry about it.
It was kind of a on the whim backyard ultra, I guess.
So let me ask you this: We're the whole idea is riding the edge of burnout and identifying, signs. And I think we've talked a lot about signs. But do you have any tips for somebody who might see themselves in some of the signs we've shared with the audience so far? Is there a tip or things that you can help them with?
I would say, and this is something that I'm trying to get better at also, but I feel like I've made a little bit of headway with, is before you get to the stage of burnout, and that's kind of my reframing lately, is um, make sure when you're taking on, like, I take on more than I can handle a lot, but make
You think?
make sure that you're taking on things that mean something to you.
Yeah.
Like, yes, like like I just packed up 100 or 80. I don't know. I think 80. I sent you the quantity earlier. A lot of podium awards, and um, but it meant something to me. But also, God, when I put those in the box, I was just like, oh, okay. But, um, but when you take on stuff like that and you take on too much, make sure it's at least a labor of love. Because if
Yeah.
not, you're gonna be burned out and you're gonna hate what you're doing. I may be burned out a lot, but to me, it feels worthy. Like, and I know it sounds maybe from the outside looking in, all this crap that I'm taking on, not crap, but all the stuff I'm taking on may not make any sense. But like, I talk with you and Santino all the time, like how I want these pieces to fit together, like the
Yep.
awards, merch, um, what else do I got? The events, sorry, and having the spotlights, and I've got some other things kind of brewing in my head with like integrating ODR and the EAPN community down. I haven't said it out loud, but I know it's worth it. Like, I know, like, I'm tired a lot and I'm overwhelmed, and sometimes I can't. I like that conversation that the thread that Lori had earlier. I think that might have been Thread or Instagram. I don't know which one, but I was talking about how, like, I'm guilty of like having blinders on. So
Yeah.
it's like I only see this thing, and I sometimes lose sight of things around me, and that sucks. Obviously, it's always something I'm working on, but just know that when you're in those moments that what you're working on, you need to know and deep in your core it's worth it. And I know that all of this stuff is worth it, and it's going to come
Yeah.
together. It's just crazy right now. and there's probably always
Dude,
going to be some element of that to it. But
here's the thing. So I told you I talked to Laura Thornton this morning, and she was like, "So what's the future look like for you and the company?" And I explained it to her this way. I was like, "We're building a silo of stackable pieces, and ODR is at the base because we want people to come into the front door through ODR, become a part of the community, do the events that we're going to be building, not just in Indiana, but also in Arizona and elsewhere. And once you get into that door with ODR and you get handed an award from RTB Awards for your finish, right? All of a sudden you're there. And then we're going to ask you to share your story and tell your story about what you just went through and the award that you got. And all of a sudden that goes on to RTB.com. It also goes on to the RTB social media posts. And then we invite you into a podcast. And so now we're having that conversation with a podcast. And so we're stacking these pieces in a way that allows us to reach the everyday athlete while also not burning out, because you and I are going to be at ODR, you and I are going to be at RTB. Santino comes in with the RTB and the community manager piece. And then the podcast network is you and me and Evan and sometimes Santino when he co-hosts What's in Your Earbuds. And then the entire community is there with What's in Your Earbuds. So we've built this thing that allows us to be focused, but also have other people contributing to the puzzle that allows us to grow it so big. And I think when I started saying that to Laura and thinking about this thing that we're building, I was like, holy shit. Like sometimes it feels wild and reckless and I don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, let alone what the next minute is going to bring. But we've done this all together. And I think knowing that has helped me to not put a death grip on the company and to loosen it and avoid that burnout of fuck it, shut it all down, let somebody else deal with it. I get emails constantly, and I don't know if you get them, dude, but they're like, hey, we've got a family business that is interested in buying Run Try Bike. I don't know if you get them for ODR or RTB or whatever. And
yeah.
there have been times where I'm like, sure, take it. I'll take 30 cents on the dollar. I'm good with it, right?
You want this? How's your sleep? Do you like worrying about bullshit at 2 a.m.? Sure.
Yeah, because it's gonna happen. But yeah, dude, it's like fucking cool to be like, man, we've got it. We're doing it. We're here. And I think what happens is we fail to impress ourselves at times. And I think that's what leads to burnout in running these businesses, which then leads to burnout in running because it's like, fuck, I don't want to get on the treadmill at 7 p.m. or shit, I don't want to set my alarm. I'm just going to do whatever. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. It's, you were talking about something that dawned on me is how well I did at a recent ultra. And I was thinking about, like what led to my key to success. And it was because, I didn't have like this huge workload to come back to. Like I ran like one of the best 50 milers I've ever ran a couple weeks ago. Cause like I got on a trail, like I don't have any work waiting for me when I get home.
Yeah.
Like all I have to do is just go 52 miles north right now. That's the only thing I have to worry about. I know that's maybe not related to directly what we're talking about, but I was just thinking about that.
No, but it is.
I was just like, oh my God, this is so like, I'm not going to think about like, is this shipment going to make it to fucking Dearborn, Michigan or wherever? Like there's nothing pending right now. It's like so freeing. Like, yeah.
But that's the key to it, dude. That's the key to avoiding the burnout. Like I ran 10 minutes faster at Pittsburgh about 5 or 6 weeks after Oakland. And it's because I wasn't worried about shit anymore. Like I was like, I gave you the story of how when we were in Europe, I couldn't control time. Like I don't have that ability to control time. And so it was like, okay, shit, this is what it is. And you got to live with it. And so when we got to Pittsburgh, it was like, shit, this is what it is. Let's have fun. And I was able to run 10 minutes faster because there wasn't this burden and this weight on my shoulders. Santino and I are going to, and Lori is going to come with us, but Santino and I are running the Salt Lake City Foothills Half Marathon on May 30th. And I just can't wait to get out there and get on the trails with Santino, who's not a typical trail runner, and just take pictures and fucking have fun with it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looked like he was on trails today too.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
So rad. Oh
He,
man.
he I called him. We had a call with a client, and he was at the trailhead finishing, and he's like, "Man, I just finished like 4 miles with 800 and something feet of climbing," and I'm
Ooh.
like, "Yeah, exactly." I'm like, "Dude, you do realize like that's probably about 50 to 75 feet a mile more than we're gonna have in Salt Lake City. Like, if you do that, you'll be fine, man."
I mean, what's what like? Isn't Western States like 350 feet a mile or something? So,
Western states,
yeah,
uh,
somewhere in there,
it's about
right?
24. I think Western States is 24,000 feet of elevation gain, so it's about
Right.
240 foot a mile.
Oh wow, yeah. So yeah, Santino was on pretty much on target for
Yeah,
one of the arguably maybe top somewhere up there in the hardest 100 milers, I guess. But
that's the
that's
other thing, right? We have to lean back on our accomplishments too, right? Like you making the statement that Western States is one of the hardest 100 milers out there, knowing that I have finished that event, right? Like I should take pride in that and not just dismiss it like I've done it, right? Ah, I did it. Or even like right now where the hype is about Cocodona. And like I've done it. I've done Cocodona. And the irony, dude, and I get lost sometimes, and I'm sure you do too. Like, oh, I've talked about Cocodona before. I've had 2 or 3 people today ask me to interview me because they're like, "Wait, you've done Cocodona? I need to interview you for my podcast." And I was like I did the inaugural year back in 2021. Like, what do you mean? I done the race? Like, I've talked about it for the last 5 years, but I guess maybe not enough.
that's cool though. That's really cool.
So we've said enough serious shit. I want to tell you a quick story because I just interviewed Joey Huertas for the Everyday Athlete Clubhouse
Heck
Party of
yeah.
Five. Party of Five, for those of you who don't know, if you're outside of the clubhouse, is an opportunity for our members to get to know each other, where I interview them and ask them who are 4 people you're inviting to dinner, what are you serving them for drinks, and what are you serving them for food. And when I asked him who his everyday athlete was going to be for the invite, and I told him it doesn't have to be a clubhouse member, doesn't have to be, it could just be somebody you run with that we don't know. He pointed at you, dude. He said, "I would love to have Joe at the dinner party, man."
Oh man, yeah. Joey is cool. Is cool as a cucumber.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, one of these days, me and him are going to figure out where I can pace him for something, or because he's really not that far away when you look at the grand scheme of how spread out we are. So that's
yeah.
cool. Yeah, I really like Joey a lot.
I tried to get him to hustle in the heartland. He's like, "Oh, I need to meet Joe. I would love to meet Joe." And I was like, "Look, no pressure. But by the way, you have the greatest salesman around you, Joe, because I tell everybody about this event." I'm like, I'm like, "We're all gonna be on October 10th at Hustle in the Heartland." And he's like, "Oh, I'll have to look into that." He sent me a DM today. He's running a marathon on October 10th already, as it is, so he won't be able to be there. Um, but I've been trying to get Val and her crew from Pittsburgh up there because I think they'd be a blast to have at Hustle in the Heartland too.
It sounds like I need to get this 24-hour idea like on paper so we can get some of these people that that want to come out to one of these things.
For sure, dude. So here's the other thing in my conversation with Joey. He said, and here's where we don't have a lot of self awareness of who we are. He said he was nervous to come on the show to chat with me. He's like, because you are always laughing and smiling and just look like you're having a damn good time. And he's like, he's like, and I don't know if I do that. Like, I don't know if I know how to laugh as much as you. And so I was worried about it. And like, think about that from a stress perspective, right? Where we're like, oh shit, I can't go do A or B or C because of the person I'm supposed to be doing with. Man, let me tell you something. If you're hanging out with Joe Hardin, Santino Williams, Lori, Derek, like, trust me when I tell you, we are going to open up our arms and we're going to bring you in and hug the hell out of you
Oh yeah,
because we just want to have some fun.
I'm a much sillier goose in real life, so you don't have to. If there's like if you could be a fly on the wall in some of the shit that I send everybody in in the Instagram chat.
Yeah. Or just come to a race, dude. Like when we're like, if I'm at the start line of a race and I'm not dancing and laughing, I'm doing something wrong. The race is going to be a shit show if I'm not singing and dancing and laughing. Trust me.
Yeah, we'll have to get Joey out for something.
Yeah. Well, he's not that. He's like a couple hours from you. He told me.
Yeah, not very
We'll have to
far.
make that happen. Well, dude, I appreciate you. You have got to pack your car, get ready to head out for your backyard ultra. I'm sending you all the positive vibes and love. Thank you for sharing your time and some insights into dealing with burnout as an entrepreneur, dealing with burnout as a runner. I think a lot of people are going to get value from that. So I appreciate you, dude.
Oh, great. Yeah, hopefully it made sense for some of that. It's like that was a very intimate look into how
Yes.
this thing on my shoulders operates in a very strange way. Even when I'm in the middle of it, I'm like, God, what's happening? But
But dude, I think that's the shit, right? Like people are looking for authenticity. And if authenticity is however you just delivered the message, then that's what it is, as opposed to some contrived scenario. I was on a podcast earlier this week. They sent me all the questions and I didn't look at them. And I told the host when he opened the show, I was like, by the way, I haven't looked at any of the questions. Like when you ask me a question, you're going to get my heart on the mic, and whatever my answer is, my answer is. And he was like, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I could even, if I wanted to, rehearse this nonsense. You're getting it like no filter, just out.
And if you guys want more of this no filtered coming out of our brains and through our mouths, show up on Monday on the What's in Your Earbuds podcast, because
Yeah.
we call it unhinged, but let me tell you something. It's like the greatest conversation you will ever be a part of, because it ping pongs everywhere.
Yeah. Oh my God. That last one that me and Santino did, I was just like, what happened? Like I laughed so hard that, like I physically hurt myself a little bit. I was like, yeah, I'm hurting.
All right, dude, let me let you go. Go pack your car. I will see you on Monday, and good luck with the Backyard Ultra. You got this.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for sticking around. I believe you got a deeper insight into Joe, a deeper insight into myself, and this topic of riding the edge when it comes to burnout. We've given you some tips. We've given you some things to look out for, and we're going to continue this series. There's going to be more blog posts written as opposed to podcasts. But as we get more people who are willing to be open and honest about burnout, where they've been, how they've gotten through it, we will bring it to you in some form or fashion. I'm excited about this. And if you want to email me because you're dealing with some stresses and some anxieties and you think that I might have a solution or a story to share with you, please email me, jason@runtrimag.com. I'm going to let you go for this week, but please don't forget to subscribe, rate, review the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network on your favorite podcast platform, as well as YouTube. The conversations are meaningful for us. We love them. It does help us with the algorithm. Don't let anybody fool you. That helps with us for sure. But we do just love talking to you folks out there, because we know that sometimes endurance sports can be lonely and you wonder if somebody else is going through it. And we're here to tell you, yes, and we are the ones going through it. So we'll see you next week on the next Fireside Chat. I really appreciate your time. I hope all is well. Have a good one, everybody. We'll see you.